Hey there, everyone. This is Cassandra, and this is Lifestyle Journey with Cassie B. I would like to welcome everyone to the video, and if there are any new subscribers, welcome to the channel. Okay, you guys, so today is Tuesday, March the 25th, 2025, and I am coming to you with a week 44 update. Um, Coming to you with a week 44 update and midweek 45. Um, but for last week, which would have ended on 320, when I was in the office on 318, I was weighing in at two. I think I must have been at 287.2. This is what I'm looking at with my notes. But I ended up actually at 288.4. So unfortunately, I did end up going up, which is, yeah, I was at 287.2 and then ended at 288.4. So I ended up actually with a weight gain for the week of 0.2 pounds. That was my last shot of 10 milligram that I would have been taking, for a while. I took it in the upper mid stomach. I had great suppression and everything like that. It's just, in all honesty, my personal habits were not the best. Definitely slacked out exercise and the nutrition portion. So I ended up being up. But even having said that, my progress wasn't too far off for the month, and I ended up losing 5 pounds on that box. So still pretty much still along the same lines as what I have been losing. And that put me at a total loss uh, at the end of that week of 73.2 pounds. So all in all, I still was not, I am not too disappointed in that whatsoever. Then I did take on the 20th, I took my shot, which I moved to the 12.5 milligram. And I did take that in my right thigh. So back to basics, if you will, new shot, because the very first shot I ever took, I took on my right thigh. So I don't know. Maybe that's something I'll make sure I do whenever I move to a new dose. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing, but like I say, I'm weird in the way that my mind works and thinks. But as of this morning, I am 286.6, which means that I am down now a total of 75 pounds even, having started at 361.6, and I am down 93.7 pounds from my highest weight. So your girl is doing her thing over here. She's doing her thing. That's pretty much it for the weight update. And I can pretty much leave it there, right? But are we going to leave it there? We know we're not going to leave it there, but that would be the shortest update ever, right? In the last video, I did talk about the fact that I would be taking a DEXA scan. I was supposed to actually go and take that on the 21st, and I ultimately called and canceled that because of the fact that I actually was not feeling well. And so I was a little stuffy, and I didn't feel like it's just I guess a phobia or whatever that I had about feeling like laying on my back and not really being able to breathe. So I went ahead and I canceled that. And so that would have been a 6 month interval for me on the DEXA scan. But I think I actually might end up taking that maybe sometime next month in April. But then again, I may hold off until May, and it's not halfway calendar wise, but it would put me at maybe taking it on basically the anniversary or around thereabout where I started the Mounjaro, and then I'll take it in 6 month increments from there. But I don't know. We'll see. But in any event, yeah, I did not take that. So I do not have those measurements to basically give you those parameters, which would have been great because as I stated, I was the 10 milligrams that I took previous week ended my box of 10 milligram, and then every time I end the box, I do take a scan of me 360, and also now with my Zozo suit. So I do have those that update to give you, but and it would have been great to compare those to the DEXA scan, but as it stands, I didn't go. And also a verification of my scale, because sometimes I feel like it may be a little bit off. And so the next thing that I would have to compare it to is my next upcoming doctor visit on, which is actually on April the 14th. Very interested to see where I'm going to be there, because I believe the doctor's visit had me weighing 295 the last time I was there, but on my scale I was reading like 2 pounds or so less. So we're going to see. But yeah, and the reason that I'm going so much more frequently than maybe some others that are on the medication is because I'm not necessarily going to, well, I'm not going to this doctor for the weight loss. I do have my weight loss meds prescribed through Weight Watcher sequence. But I mean, I do, the doctor is apprised of this, and who knows, I may end up switching that care to him. But right now, that is not what I am going there for. I'm actually going there just because we all need to go. I had needed to establish primary care for quite a while, and so I finally have. And I knew that I had high blood pressure, and I needed to try to get that under control. Which I don't know if I've spoken about this in a previous video, but of course, being concerned about the high blood pressure, but then we were also concerned about some of my cholesterol levels, everything else, pretty much. While I was put on medications for the high blood pressure and the cholesterol, and my cholesterol at the last check, which was on March 4th, I believe it was, everything was looking good there. But I they had to increase my dosage of my blood pressure medicine, because it was basically still the same. The medications that I'm on, so I had hoped that, having lost so much, even since the last time I had been to the doctor, you know, um, I'm thinking like way back when I had last gone to the doctor, because it had been a while. I'm wanting to thinking I was maybe around 330 and was on blood pressure medicine, and now I'm under, like, way under three. Well, not way under, but solidly under three. I would have thought that, that my medication would be, I'd be able to come off of it, but probably due to the fact that I wasn't on it for so long, that the blood pressure was unchecked for so long, that's probably why, because I'm just like, when am I gonna get off this stuff? Other people are getting off of it, right? But no, not I. Not I. Yeah, but that's okay, because I have been checking my blood pressure, and while it is still, he may end up adjusting me again, but at least I can see where it is working, because he did put me on a a Storvastatin for the for the I'm on a Storvastatin for the cholesterol, and like I said, that is doing absolutely fine. And then he had me on Almasartan. If I'm saying that right, 20 milligrams of that once a day, and I was on that since January. But when I went in and my blood pressure was still um kind of up there, he increased me to 40 milligrams, which I was just taking 2 of the 20 milligram tablets, but I did have to renew because I was going to be out of those on Thursday. He had to do another prescription for me because I wasn't going to be able to refill to April 11th, and I was not going to be out of my medication for basically a month. So I had to call in a new prescription to do the 40 milligram tablet. So I am on 40 milligrams of olmesartan, and he also then put me on amlodipine, and it's doing a lot better. I'm not sure what we'll do when we go back on the 14th, but we will see, because it still ranges on what would be considered high. I don't really think I've seen the bottom number, which is, I'm drawing a blank now on what the systolic and the diastolic, whichever one. I, it's not ever too much under 90 if it does get under 90. And I know that that should really be about 80 and below. And that's the one that the whole thing is, whole blood pressure number is a concern, but definitely when that bottom number starts to reach up toward, over 90, that's when they're concerned about that. So that's pretty much in check, but I still think they probably want to see it maybe even lower. And I actually do not have my blood pressure cuff with me today. I've been meaning to, still bring that, because I check it multiple times a day now at home, but I also wanted to check it while I am at work too. So, but I actually forgot to bring that with me today, so I cannot tell you, where I am today. But last night, um, the last the last reading that I got was actually 125/82, which is the lowest it's been. I don't know if that was a fluke or what, but I'll take it. But that's the lowest it's been, and like I said, I've been on the amlodipine and the increase almost starting since for about it's been about 2 weeks now. No, 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. So, but yeah, so I have another basically 3 weeks to go. Hopefully that will, that's a good indication that it's doing what's supposed to do. And then hopefully as I continue to lose even more weight, I'll be able to come off the blood pressure medications, because I'm not trying to be taking those forever. But anyway, so that's that on the medication side of things. I'll segue into talking about non-scale victories right now. Still just feeling great. I'm still a homebody. Don't really like to go out a lot, but I am of the mindset now that if I do go out, I don't mind being seen. I'm not really, well, I'm a introvert, so I naturally like to try to just shrink or shy into the background. But if I am seen, I'm not necessarily going to be mad about it nowadays, because I feel like, girl, you looking kind of cute, okay? Especially with, just, I don't know, the changes you're making in like the wardrobe and stuff like that. I think which segues into these earrings, I think they're so cute. My daughter ordered some clothing from like a thrift shop, online thrift shop situation, and she ordered some leggings, and they sent a pair of free earrings, and she was like, you can have those because they're cute, but they're not my style. And when I saw them, I was like, oh yeah. I said, girl, you know your mama, because this is right here, this is up my alley right here. This is like 90s, that 90s era vibe, a bamboo earring. LL Cool J's era, you know what I'm saying? That's the roundaway girl type situation is what I thought about. And I'm like, yeah, that's definitely me. And I will definitely still rock those, and I definitely am. Non-skill victory that I noticed this morning on the way into work, I was, of course, driving, and then I realized, as I kind of just, touched my torso or whatever, and I'm like, this seatbelt at the bottom is a little loose. So then I had to adjust it to tighten it, the part that goes across my lap, which is, in most cars it probably retracts to where it's supposed to be, the tightest or whatever. But in my car, isn't an old car, it's a 2018, not new, but not old either. But I guess at some point it just, I don't know, because I know my daughter drives too, and I don't think she's ever had an issue talking about how it didn't fit her. But in any event, I just realized, hey, it's some looseness here across my lap, and I can tighten that up. So yeah, I have to pay more attention to it in the future. But I just was thinking that, hey, it was pulled out so far, or used to being pulled out, and then when I went to sitting in the drive, it's like, wait a minute, you realize the part that's going across the chest is where it's supposed to be, but the lap part was loose. And I'm like, okay. Which has me thinking, I don't know where I would go right now, but I need to catch a flight somewhere to see if I would need a seatbelt extender. Probably still would, I don't know. But hopefully not, because the last flight I was on was back in like 2022, I believe. And I definitely was around 350 at that time and needed the seatbelt extender. And so I don't think I've been on a plane since I can remember under 300 pounds in quite some time. And so, but I'm feeling like I might not need a seatbelt extension. So I want to take a flight somewhere anyway. But I definitely want to take a flight to kind of see, hey, are you going to need that? Are you going to need that? So, but now let's see. I'll tell you about my measurements. I feel like these measurements are, like I said, you have to take everything like with a grain of salt with these, but it does, at least if nothing else, gives you a comparison from one month to the next that are at least consistent based upon the individual app itself, if that makes sense. So my scan on March the 20th, 2025 in the Zozo suit had my neck at 17.1 inches, said my chest was 55.4, said my shoulders were 17.5, but it just must be measuring like shoulder to shoulder and not basically all the way around. It said my upper arms were 19.1 on both sides. It says that my upper waist was 54.4. But based upon this, it's not really measuring at what I would consider the lowest part of my waist. And it said my lower waist was 57.2. My hips were 57.7, which everything, the neck, it said, went up from the previous month. Everything else went down. But all the rest of these measurements now supposedly went up from the last month, which includes my hips at 57.7, my right thigh 34.4, left thigh 34.2, my calf, right calf 18.9, left calf 19.3, and my right ankle 11.2, and my right ankle 11.4. And that's what that's looking like so far. I mean, at this point. Now, when we do the color metric system, those areas that are in the yellow are things that are going up, but other the blue is actually what's going down. So I'm good. I'm glad that the waist area and stuff is going down, because now I don't want to be this close to 300. I don't. Again, I have not really established what I feel like is going to be my goal weight per se, but as I just told my brother the other day, I could be quite happy even right now because of the fact that I'm not winded everywhere I go, just going up, a stair or walking to my car or whatever. So I'm overall feeling a lot healthier. My joints don't hurt just because I've stood for a couple minutes. I feel overall a few years younger. As it relates to just the way my body feels or whatever. I will still feel a little stiff sometimes if I sit too long or lay too long or whatever. But, just every time I get up feeling stiff and stuff, no. It's like I could pretty much bounce up and, be on my way. And that's not bad for a almost 53-year-old, okay? My side-by-side comparisons, I supposedly was at 71.2% body fat. February 20th, March 20th, I'm at 69. And yeah, you could see the definite change in my stomach area. Definitely protrudes a lot more on the February 20th versus the March 20th shot. And then in this particular app, like I said, I did go ahead and subscribe to the booty scan analysis. And unfortunately, I lost some roundness. I went down 1%, and my protrusion went down some 1%. But the lift is still up. So it's still lifted, but it's saying basically I lost some fullness. I could stand to lose a little bit of that, but I don't want to lose it all. So we're going to keep track of that. And I honestly have not done I have not been on my squat machine at all. and I still haven't. So I got to get that back into the rotation. But yeah, that is where we are with that. But as it relates to my Me 360, those measurements are a bit off from the Me 360, but overall everything is still going down. If I let me show you my scans, and I'll compare from March 20th to February 20th on that one as well. So that's February, that's March, and you'll see a lot of difference again. And again, noticeable difference between my stomach on both of those. But over here, it says my body fat percentage was 50.8, and then my chest was 53.8. My stomach was 54.8. It says my waist was 49.9. My hips are 55.3. My left bicep 18.2, and my right 17.3. My left forearm 13.3, right forearm 12.9, left thigh 29.2. So see, that's 5 inches different. My right thigh 29.6, left calf 19, right calf 19.1. And my body surface area is 23.6 feet, which is down from 23.9 from a month ago. And my lean body mass actually went up 1.8 pounds, from 141.1 to 149 up to 142.9. And now just to show you the difference between the very first scan that I took May 21st and March 20th. Now that is a huge difference. I don't even have to tell you which one is which. Would you look at that? Oh my God. So much different. So much different. Supposedly I'm down 8.5% body fat, 5.7 inches off my chest, 8.1 inches off my stomach, 8.9 off my waist, 8.5 off my hip. Right bicep is down 1.3, left is down 1.8. My left forearm says it went up 0.7. Stay consistent with the right. I'm down 5.3 inches in my left thigh, 5.7 in my right. My calves are up 0.6 on the left, 0.3 on the right. But overall, my body surface area is down 3.9 feet. And it says my lean body mass is down 2.3. But as I said, so I have lost a little bit of lean tissue. I do know that, but for the amount that I have lost, I don't think it's that alarming. And I definitely will know more so about that when I do actually have the real DEXA scan. And then one other thing that I did, I went in with my Renpho tape to do my measurements as well. And I will say that those are closer to the Me 360. Now, Me 360 does not scan your neck, but I have my neck being 14.78. I have my shoulders at 49.93, but that's awkward. And that's the circumference. And I think, like I said, the Zozo suit is just doing shoulder to shoulder. And my biceps are higher because I'm not, I still have a whole bunch of, loose skin, or what, not loose skin, but just the wings, and definitely loose skin, but I don't tighten it. I think both the Me 360 app and the Zozo suit somehow, they're somehow taking into account for that. And so if I was to squeeze the tape, I probably would get closer to what they're saying. But according to this, because I don't tighten it, I still have it just where it hangs, because to me that's what you should be measuring. My right bicep is 22.10, my left is 21.75. I have my chest at 53.61. I had my waist at 51.3, but I was going to do something, which I'll talk about in just a second. And I had to remeasure because I'm like, what size do I need? And I actually, when I went truly around the smallest part of my waist, I got to like 47 point, almost 48 inches. So, but anyway, 51.3 on my waist. I have my abdomen at 52.48, and my hips are actually 52.72. Caveat there, as well. When I do the hip measurements, I'm avoiding the hanging abdomen area. And I do know that with the, because you can see more so about exactly where it's being measured in the Zozo app. It's definitely including that. But anyway, then my thighs. Now, again, these are more so in line with the Me 360. Right is 28.07. The left was 27.95. And then my calves were 17.15 on the right and 17.55 on the left. And then those are the measurements we have there. I could probably add, and I can add in 6 more custom body parts. So I could probably add in the ankles or something like that that the other apps have. But anyway, or forearms and stuff like that. But I hadn't been taking those, but maybe I will add them. But yeah, that's where we are in relation to actual measurements. So, but yeah, so even at that, I do think that while it is a good indication of how things change from month to month, it's still, you have to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, because did I tighten this tape as much as I did the last time? Do I have it in exactly the same spot as I did the last time? Am I taking it exactly where I should? Again, where the hips, should I include the lower abdomen, or am I just talking about the hips without that? So you take all that with a grain of salt. But overall, to see, it is definitely still clearly going down, and we can tell that in just clothing alone, which is where, how things are fitting on you or what have you. So yeah, definitely getting into things that I couldn't get into before. And I hadn't bought clothes in a very long time, but I will say this: I'm into, I guess you could say, buying things that are considered fast fashion now from Shein. And I have bought things. The first ever piece that I got from them was a 4X. And I was wondering, is it truly going to fit? Because I think they said that was supposed to be like a size 20. And I was very surprised when I got into that. And I don't really know if that's truly the size that, if they're true US sizes of a 20, 18, or whatever, so on and so forth. I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that it was truly my size until I went into a physical store, I guess, and tried on things, but I haven't done that yet. But I do know that you can put in your height and your weight and basically describe how your body shape is. And a lot of the times they will give you a suggested size. And because I know that in certain things, I'm pretty much buying a 3X over there. Even though sometimes it will say a 4X, I'm pretty much doing a 3. And so, for instance, this outfit that I have on, so didn't come together. I purchased it separately. But the shirt is a 3X, as well as this jumper. And the shirt does fit. It's not tight or anything like that. It's just, I probably would have went 4X on that, just because of the fact that it's a little bit shorter. It stops like right about here. So if I was wearing it with anything else, I feel like it would have stopped a little too short. But the jumper, if they suggested a 4X in this, I don't think I needed a 4X. I have plenty of room. And definitely, you can see, like, there's plenty of room back there, and the pants are nice and flowy. So I definitely don't think I would have needed a 4X in this. And then it actually has another button up here where I would be able to wear this, even when I get down to what's considered a 2X over there. So yeah, I don't think I needed the 4X, because I think in just a few short months, if I had gotten the 4X on this, it would have truly been too big. So yeah, it's fitting exactly not like I needed to fit, and I'm feeling super cute. And the last thing I'll update you on is activity. So I am getting in some activity. So the thing that I alluded to in the beginning, just a few minutes ago, was the fact that I measured my waist for something that I wanted to order. And I'm I'm so easily influenced. And I was scrolling through my TikTok, and I saw someone with a wooden beaded hula hoop. And I'm like, ooh, that looks interesting. So I ordered it, knowing that years ago I decided, oh yeah, let me try a hula hoop again, because came across my timeline and people were hooping, and it's like, yeah, you remember hula hooping being just a fun thing to do as a kid, and I could tear that hoop up. But baby, now forget about it. But again, it just looks like so much fun, right? So I went out and I I probably bought myself like a cheap hoop from Dollar Tree or Walmart or something. Couldn't do it. Did research. Coming to find out, oh no, as you're older, now you're gonna need, a bigger hoop, number one, and probably a weighted hoop. I could not, and for some reason I ended up buying two weighted hoops. I don't really know why I bought the second after the first one didn't work because they probably were the same weight. I really don't know. But I had those hoops in the house, and I think I just threw them away last year because it was just like I just can't get it. No matter what I do, I cannot get it. I don't know. Maybe one hoop was a little bit taller than the other. I really don't remember, but I didn't compare them side by side. But there was a reason I bought a second. But ultimately, I threw them out because I'm just like, yeah, this not working. I had even bought a knockoff infinity hoop, and yeah, I could never get that to going. I'm just like, at most, I might have sent it around twice, and that probably was just for the momentum of just spinning it around. I could never get it. And then I had that around for a while. And actually, I had about two of those because they were again a knockoff version. But the funny thing is, I probably should have just went with the regular infinity hoop at that point, but it was just an instant gratification thing. I want it right now. So I ended up purchasing two because one, they didn't come in like an extra size, the size that I needed. So I purchased two and ended up paying like $36 for each one of them. But ultimately it was just like it was even at that it was still low quality because I could basically hold the thing in my hand and bend it in a certain way and it would kind of fall apart or whatever. So it just wasn't it just wasn't up to par. So I ultimately said, let me just throw this stuff out. And I threw that out too. Probably threw that away before I threw the actual weighted real traditional hoops away. So yeah, I got rid of those. But here we go again. See someone with this beaded hoop, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks cool!" And then the sound just sounded so awesome. Not that would even be a thing for me because if I'm out calling myself exercising and trying to get into a zone with it where I want to go. Now this lady I watch goes for 2 hours. Do I see myself going for 2 hours on this hoop? Probably not. Probably not ever be a thing for me, but yeah, but if I am trying to zone out and do this for however long I want to do it for, I'm probably not going to be even listening to the sound of that hoop, especially with the fact that I have to be outside because I have no place, I have nowhere that has enough space to be able to work this hoop inside. And so, yeah, being outside in the element and people outside that may want to say something to you or whatever, I'm gonna have some headphones on. So I'm probably not even gonna hear that part. But I'm like, yeah. So I got it back on the 19th and I, you know, went outside like basically every day to try it and still not a thing. But I felt like, okay, it's not too bad though, and I think I'm doing a little bit better than I ever did on any other hoop. Like it seems like I got it around a couple times. So I said, maybe invest in another infinity hoop again. And that is what I did. And so that ended up coming on today is Tuesday. I ended up getting that on Sunday. I got that on Sunday and I was thinking, even after I ordered it, I'm like, am I wasting my time? Really? Was this a smart decision? But I just felt like I'm clearly down like 50 plus pounds since the last time I would have tried this thing. I have more of a defined waist. I feel like I could probably move a little bit better. But I think I'm gonna try the infinity hoop situation again. And then as luck would have it, or as fate would have it, or whatever, I had responded to the lady's TikTok saying, I had purchased one of the wooden hoops and I was like, I can't do a thing in the world with it right now. I hope I didn't waste my money. And then that's when she came back to me and said, that's why I tell everybody to start with the infinity hoop. I'm like, okay. So that was validation that I won't just spend the money recklessly and that it would make sense to try to, get something else going and get that down pat first. And then once I got that movement, I should be able to do this other hoop. So, and I will say that it's been fun. It's Tuesday. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get in. a little bit of time to do this today, well, I will have the time. It's just that I've been recording it for posterity or accountability or whatever, and posting it over to my TikTok. But and when I go home today, I do have practice tonight with I sing with the local chorale group, and we have practice from 7:15 to like 8:55 tonight. And when I get home, I mean, I could go out there and do it for a little bit, but I'm not trying to get like super exhausted or anything in between time for me to go and stand for like an hour and a half and sing. So it's like, at what point am I going to get it in today? But in all actuality, the little challenge that I'm doing, where the hoop itself came with a challenge, and really don't have to do it for 5 minutes. So if I just go out there for 5 minutes a day after I get home, that should be enough. But the first day that I got it, I ended up doing 2 sessions of about just over 6 minutes and just under 6 minutes. And then yesterday, I ended up going out and using it, and I think I was there for just under 20 minutes. And I'm telling you, I had so much freaking fun. Yeah, 19 minutes and 6 seconds is what I did with that. And of course, not hooping the entire time, but music going, you're having fun, you're dancing around and stuff. So it's still all activity, right? So I would pause it when I was definitely actively just like breaking for a second. But I can say that I am having a ball, and I can see that being a consistent form of fun exercise for me. And at this point, I posted a couple of those videos already. I don't know when this video is gonna get posted, because I have so many more to get edited and posted. But you all will have seen the fruits of my labor with the hooping, because I've already posted those. But yeah, the first day I went out and I was like, I think I can get this. And I got like, I got it going, and I got like 27 rotations. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so much fun. And then yesterday I did it, and I was able to get it around 35 times. And then as I went back and rewatched it, I'm like, when I got into it and I realized, and it's so funny to me when I look at my face, it's like on my face, it's like, hey, I'm really getting it. Like, I'm so proud of myself, like a little bit kid. It's amazing the things that bring us joy, even this late in life. But so I could see myself when I got to 35 rotations, because I'm like, okay, I'm approaching, where I got the most yesterday. And then when I got over that and I was still going, it's like, okay, I'm getting into it. And then I'm thinking I heard a bump. I think my weight ended up hitting the stairs or something. Stairs pole or something. And that's when I ended up stopping. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I hear it hit something. So I might could have gone on even more, but I am super excited about that new form of exercise. So, and especially with the fact that the spring and summer is coming up, yeah, that's gonna be a thing for me. But yeah, I'm making sure that I get out there and get that done. So, because of the fact that it is just so much fun. So yeah, it is so much fun, and and that is what I guess will help me keep up the progress, right? Something that you actually enjoy doing. So, and this doesn't even seem like it's a chore. So, yeah, definitely that. And I cannot wait to see if I'll eventually be able to get that other hoop going too. And then who knows, maybe even a real traditional hoop again. It's been a lot of fun getting in touch, I guess, again with my inner child as I have a birthday approaching in like 2 months. But yeah. Oh yeah, guys. And look, I'm not crazy anymore. You could definitely see a little clavicle situation going on there, right? I'm like, man, inflammation has always been a thing, because I know for a fact I never used to see that before. I never used, and like I feel like they should be more prominent. I feel them as I'm touching them. I feel it, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not crazy. You can definitely see the indentation. I'm silly. That's it, you guys. If you have any questions or comments, do not hesitate to leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And as always, until the next video, Peace and blessings.